Welcome to Care to Share with Jennifer Longworth here on Real Life Radio, realliferadio.com. Joined now by David Boggs and Margaret Agee from OWL, which stands for Opportunity for Work and Learning. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I don't know who wants to start, but tell us about OWL, what it stands for, who you guys are, what you do.
Okay, Opportunity for Work and Learning is a nonprofit agency that was established in 1961 here in Lexington to provide job training and job placement for individuals with barriers to employment. And those barriers may be physical disabilities, mental disabilities, or a combination of both of those, and may also have a barrier of employment through some kind of criminal background, and they need to re-enter the workforce.
Okay, it does sound familiar. So you guys have been in Lexington this whole time. And what was the vision? Kind of where did, the need for OWL come from? Did you see a need in the community and step up to fill it, or?
Well, obviously, neither one of us was around when it started in 1961.
He was.
I was, really. It started because if you can imagine back in the day, as they say, individuals with disabilities were pretty well restricted to not entering into the employment world, and also they may not have even finished school at that particular time. And, of course, people that were incarcerated were not nearly the number they are today, and most of them did not work in public jobs when they were released. And so OWL started as an outlet in the community because a group of parents saw the vision of their children and their young adults being more engaged in employment. And therefore, it started as a self-contained workshop program. But over the years, we have totally segued away from that, and now our whole mission is to train people for employment and find them that employment out in the community.
Yes, and since then we've expanded multiple programs to meet the needs. Oftentimes these days you have individuals, especially with barriers, who they don't have the training they need. So we have developed several training programs to give them the actual job skills for certain industries, but also working with them on developing a resume and how to sit for an interview and present yourself for an interview. That doesn't come naturally for most of us.
Right.
It's important that we teach them the skills. Our whole goal is that when they leave, they are more independent in finding a job and keeping a job than when they came to us. We want to empower them in their lives, not just for the short term, but for the long term of their lives.
Now, do people come to you individually, or are you agency referral only, or how do people find you?
People come to us in lots of different ways. We are a fee-for-service agency, meaning we only get paid if we provide a service.
Okay.
And we do have to keep the lights on and pay our staff. So our primary referral source is the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation. We've had a long-standing partnership with them and really enjoy that partnership. And so they will refer someone for different services. Usually a component of that is some type of job placement, whether it's more intensive or less intensive services, but it can also be the training or life skills, independent living skills, that type of thing. We also work with the Office for the Blind. They send us referrals. Community Action and the Office for Employment and Training, or what most people consider the employment office.
Right.
But we also have individuals that just come in the door and need help. And we have the manufacturing side of the facility where we can hire them in as a temporary employee, but at the same time, we take time to get to know them, and oftentimes we actually have a form that they can fill out if they need additional help, and we can send them, make a referral for these agencies to help them. So, we're an employer, but we're also an agency that we try to serve our community as a whole, and so we're always looking at different ways we can help someone, whether they come through as a referral or they just walk in the door and say, I need some help.
So you mentioned manufacturing as one of the fields that you can place people in pretty quickly. What other areas do you work with?
Well, as far as placing someone in a job, that is just as wide-ranging as you or I. We have very different careers, and so do the folks that walk in our door. And it can be anything from, the basic entry-level job all the way up to, we have individuals who have doctorate degrees, but because of work injury or, other issues in their life, physical debilitation because of age, whatever the case may be. We look at what their skills, their abilities, and their limitations are, and we try to pull all of those together and give them the best chance for success where they want to go. So we can look at a whole gamut of jobs. It just depends on where they're going and where they want to be.
So do you have certain employers you work with that are open to placing your clients?
Well, we have the Employment Advisory Committee, which is made up of just some tremendous employers who support us and believe in what we do, and they hire our individuals when they have openings, or at least offer them interviews and let them sell themselves for that job. But we also, part of our jobs is every day to network and meet new employers and to educate them on the value of hiring someone with a disability or a barrier, because our labor pool is shrinking, and we have a large population of individuals with barriers or disabilities, and so for an employer to be able to tap that labor pool is very valuable to them, and you get some great employees who are more loyal. They will stay longer, they will work harder, they have less missed work days than other folks do sometimes, and so it's a win-win-win situation for everybody involved when we can meet new employers. So we're always looking for new employers and new opportunities for our clients.
Do you guys have any stories you can share, any successes that you've seen with someone, a change in the person who you saw when they first walked into the door through their process?
Oh my goodness, we've got tons of those stories. We have a monthly newsletter, and we always try to have at least one of those success stories within that. But goodness, I won't use any names, but oftentimes we will get maybe a small grant to do just a project, a time-limited project. And we had a program that was called Shine, and it was for women who had come through our program or were in our program that had kind of experienced some pretty tough things in their lives. And when they come in the door, you can tell they're just really beat down by life. They low self-esteem, lack of confidence, and just don't even believe in themselves of what they can or can't do. And through this program, we saw an entire group of women just bloom into just lovely beings with confidence and belief in themselves. We hired one individual, and she still works with us today, and she's awesome. But when she walked in the door, all she felt was like everybody saw what was inside. And when she finished and we hired her as a permanent employee, she knew that what we saw was that valuable person who could do great things, and she's a great asset to our company.
Yeah, another example of a success story is this winter, as everybody knows, was horrific. We actually closed for a day. When the governor closed a state of emergency, we were forced to close. So we had one young man that did not get the message about us closing, and he walked 2 miles in that snow to get to work.
Oh, bless his heart.
And as a result of that, an employer took notice and said, if this guy, regardless of what he's done in the past, regardless of his disability or barrier, I'm going to hire that man. And he is still at that employer today, and he is just thrilled to death. And since then, he has seen me and said, would you send me somebody else? And so he's hired his second person since Christmas.
That's excellent. Yeah, if you see somebody who's that dedicated to walk 2 miles in the snow,
Absolutely.
I would probably want them as an employee as well.
Absolutely.
But, every Monday we start new people because that's our goal, to get people there, get them trained, get them in employment or whatever their programmatic needs are. And so we see success story after success stories where people come in, beat down, holding their head down, and then leaving, feeling good about themselves, now entering back into the employment world.
So what does the community need to know about OWL? How can we get involved? How can we help you out?
Well, people need opportunity. And for so many of our folks that we work with and serve, whether it's just one stupid mistake when they were younger, or whether it's been a lifetime of problems because they just didn't have the resources and access to help. If we want to improve our communities, if we want to grow as a city, then it takes everybody. And we need employers to be willing to invest in individuals who may have not made the best choices in life, or maybe just haven't had opportunity. And if we can do anything, it's to educate people and educate employers and encourage them to come and talk with us and work with us to help all these people get jobs. Everybody wants to work. Everybody wants to be contributing members of society. But we have to have the jobs in order to make that happen.
Right. So if someone is an employer and is hearing you now, what's the best way for them to learn more and get in contact with you?
Give us a call. We give tours almost daily. I have people call me all the time and say, yeah, I've heard about you all. What do you do? And I'm like, well, come on out. Let me show you. Because we do so many things and we do them well. Our customers in the manufacturing side, they want their product, they want it on time, and they want it correct, and they get it. And the companies that work with us, they know they can depend on us. The rehab side of it, which is what I do, we provide great services, and oftentimes we provide a lot of services that on the surface doesn't look like we're looking for a job, but it's to get them ready for that job. But the best thing they could do is give us a call and ask for a tour, and we'd love to have them out.
And what's your number?
It's 859-254-0576.
And where are you located?
650 Kennedy Road, and that's Lexington 40511, and it is directly across the street off Newtown Pike from Lexmark.
I think another critical way that the community can get engaged in our program, and they've been so good about supporting us, is by making referrals to our program.
Absolutely.
Because they may know of somebody with a disability or a barrier into employment that don't even know where to start in the employment world. So they can contact us, and if we can't meet their needs, then we will refer them to an agency that can probably help them in areas that we aren't able to. But certainly we do invite them to come out and check us out and see what all we do, see what services we have, and if necessary, we will refer them to the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation or whatever pathway they may need.
And what is your website for people to learn more?
It's simply www.owlinc.net.
owlinc.net.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, David and Margaret from OWL, Opportunity for Work and Learning. Welcome back into Care to Share with Jennifer Longworth here on Real Life Radio, realliferadio.com. Joined by David and Margaret from OWL, the Opportunity for Work and Learning. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And in the previous segment, we didn't get to cover everything that you guys do, and you wanted to talk a little bit about your manufacturing program.
We mentioned in our first segment about the job training component of OWL, and to help our people find employment and become more employable and work hardy and work ready. We have a manufacturing center called the Lexington Manufacturing Center, and we do outsourced manufacturing and business projects for 28 different companies. And we actually ship worldwide from our organization every day. And we make some parts for some of our companies that we are the only producer for that part. And so by doing that, that provides a job training component for the 87 people that work at OWL. Now, that includes myself and Margaret and everybody else is there, but it's constantly new people coming in and getting some skills that they may not have otherwise had. Because working together in a manufacturing environment, you really have to learn how to communicate with others and work well as a team, which is what the real world work environment is like.
Right.
And so we focus on that every day.
So do you see the people who come into OWL and work in your manufacturing develop those skills and then go on to bigger and better things?
Well, what you learn in our manufacturing environment, those soft skills, as employers like to talk, are very transferable skills, whether you're working with fast food, manufacturing environment, doing administrative assistant type work. Everybody wants employees that will show up on time and be disciplined and be able to get along with others. Right. And those are some of the skills that we really work on every day.
That's a huge component, and that flows over into our other services, working with our employment coordinators on that job readiness aspect. So that gives us an opportunity to really see where someone's strengths are. And, if you go out and get a job in the community and you don't have those skills, you lose your job.
Right.
But coming through our transitional work program in the manufacturing, rather than fire you, we have an opportunity to sit down and talk with you to see what's going on, to educate you, to retrain you, to learn some of those skills, so that when you do get that job, you're more likely to keep the job and be successful in that job long term. We also have a new program. It is a new Medicaid waiver program. OWL, I should say. I haven't been there that long, but OWL has been moving towards serving this population for a long time. And so earlier in the year, we were awarded our Medicaid provider number. And we provide supported employment services along with some community living supports and that type of thing in the community for individuals who have much more severe barriers and disabilities. We have a wonderful young woman who's overseeing that program, and it is taking off. And so, again, that has given us an opportunity to serve more people and help them become employed. And this is a population that society may have historically said, oh, well, they're never going to work. They're just give them a check and make sure their needs are met. But they want to work just as much as the rest of us do, and this program is giving them an opportunity for that.
And you mentioned that there's 87 people who work with OWL, but how many clients do you service on a regular basis, do you think?
I think in a year, on the average, it's somewhere around 300. Okay. And, not everyone goes out the door with a job, because they may not be ready for it. Mm-hmm. But what I've learned over the years is that the time we spend with them, we've planted seeds of encouragement, and they've grown. You're never going to be the same once you experience encouragement and growth and education as you were when you started. And so a lot of times we'll have someone leave unsuccessfully and then come back a few months later, and then they'll be ready for it because they've really come to that understanding of, I actually do need some help to get to where I want to be,
right.
And so then we can help them and work with them, and they are successful, and they get a job, and they go on.
Yes, and we're always looking for new programs to launch that will better meet the needs of our community. And last year we started another new program called Customer Service Representative Training Program. Oh. And we have a national certification that folks can get in that program that they can take to any of our states, and it will be easily identified. But the whole purpose of this program is to train individuals how to respond on the phone or to that customer that they are taking care of at some quick service restaurant or some store at the mall or whatever. But the best thing about it is that we have an agreement with some of our major contact centers here in Lexington that anyone that completes this and meets their hiring requirements, they will offer them a job. And every graduate that's gone through that program has completed it successfully and has been employed by the time they complete that 6-week program.
And that's another one of those soft skills, if you will. No matter where you go, a transferable skill. Everyone needs to have some sort of customer service.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yes, actually, you would think that, maybe it's my generation, that tended to come naturally of how to respond to people in a customer service setting. These days, that's not the case.
No.
And so you really do need to teach those skills. And even though our program is designed more for like a contact center environment, we find that those skills flow over into every job. Even our jobs, we couldn't do it without some customer service skills. So it's been very beneficial, and the like he said, the folks that have finished it successfully have gotten jobs, and they keep the jobs, and there's some really good paying jobs out there in contact centers and other customer service fields.
Again, joined by David Boggs, President and CEO of OWL, Opportunity for Work and Learning, and Margaret Agee, the Center Director. Thank you so much for coming in. Is there anything else the community needs to know right now?
No, we just want to say how much we appreciate Real Life for promoting OWL and giving us the opportunity to be here. And please come and visit us, call us, and we'll be glad to answer any question you have over the phone and try to meet your needs because you're a part of our community.
And again, what's your phone number?
The phone number is 859-256 0576.
Take it from the top.
Take it from the top to 859-254-0576.
And the website was www.owlinc.net.
That is correct.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. We look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this edition of Care to Share with Jennifer Longworth on the Real Life Radio podcast. For more podcasts and more information about Real Life Radio, visit realliferadio.com.